boss one, I'm gonna get mine. Go through the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're off and down. When you smile in my face, but you play me like a clown, it's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm a mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'll pull that down. Who you wanna roll with? Yeah! Who you wanna roll with? Let's go! Who you wanna roll with? Yeah! Roll with? Let's go!
Oh, yeah. A lot to talk about today.
I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. Well, what people stay, they sway. 1, 2, 3 is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't trust the lie, but you know it's wrong. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's go. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's go. Yeah. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's go. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's go.
Whoa. Come on, guy. Edison, New Jersey. Good old Edison, New Jersey. You really stepped in it this time. This is not something new, ladies and gentlemen. This has been going on for years. They have been banning masks. They have been kicking people out for wearing masks. And now they just had enough, because what happened was there's a backstory to this whole thing. And this flag ban, this American flag ban, it's Bongholio's fault. That's right, it's Bongholio's fault. He did it. That nuclear bong option struck again. So we went there to support Christo. This is the timeline of the whole thing. Because Christo got kicked out about 6 times in a row, and they're bullying him. They have no right to kick him out for wearing a mask. For years, we had to wear masks. We were mandated to wear masks. Christo wears a mask, and they have a problem with it. And Patel, the council president, kicked out people with masks while he was wearing a mask. It's just unbelievable. So there's a timeline to this whole thing. So we all got fed up, and we decided to go. Well, actually, Mikey went and first and told them, you're going down a bad path here, and they ignored him. So then we all went back, and Bongholio went back, El Rampador went there, Pat Duff had a Phil Murphy puppet, Steve had an anonymous mask, and Christo had I don't know what he was wearing. Christo has a mask. Let's just say that. I don't know what Christo wears sometimes, but it looks like a mask, and they don't like it. So they passed a ordinance to stop the masks, to end props, to end performances. Because when I went there, I sang the national anthem, but I didn't sing the national anthem. I sung Disability rights are human rights. And I sung that over and over and over and over and over. And they didn't like that either. I went there and I yelled at them. For their Zoom access, they have an attorney named Michael Burns. And she needs to resign. Because, first of all, he doesn't understand the First Amendment and the Constitution. He also doesn't understand Title II of the ADA, which states there's a bunch of things you have to do before you take away or change access. And they did none of these things. There should be a question and answer period. There should be a grievance procedure, a transitional period. The disability coordinator needed to be involved. They don't have any of these things. They didn't do any of these things. They don't have any of these things. So we yelled at them for that. I yelled at Coyle for filming me. He's actually up at the council dais filming, so we can Oprah request his video as well. This council is a mess. There is a retraction. There's a retraction here that the mayor and the council president both wrote one. Where is it? It's over here. There's a couple of them. This is the one that the council president put out. Oh, wait, where is it? Here it is. December 3rd, 2024. First, allow me to apologize to my council colleagues and all the residents of Edison and our great state. That you should include the country, too. You kind of pissed off the country and the entire world. This has gone international, so you should probably put that in there. The confusion surrounding the decorum ordinance that was recently passed. What confusion? You planned it out. You did this. You've been doing it for a long time. We told you it was a bad road to go down, and you still went down this road. Are you kidding me? Unreal, this guy. So then he says, let me be very clear. The Edison Council has never. Oh, I'm sorry. We probably have a echo. Let me fix that. Let me be very clear. The Edison Council has never, nor will we ever, ban the American flag from our public meetings. Our nation's flag, as well as our state's flag, are both prominently and honorably displayed in our council chamber. We proudly and humbly begin each council meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, reaffirming our commitment and loyalty to our country and the history and values upon which it stands. It was never is in caps. Never, ever. Ever is not in caps. Never is in caps. Ever is not in caps. So it was never, ever the intent of this council to ban the American flag. In fact, nowhere in this ordinance is there ever even a reference to our nation's flag being banned. If any of my remarks during the previous council meeting implied that I apologize, we are all proud Americans and respect the history, the morals, and the principles of our great nation. The decorum ordinance that was passed was intended to prevent the chronic and chaotic disturbances that have found their way into our council chambers, which at times prevent from doing the important business of our township. Our residents deserve our undivided attention as we attempt to deal with the challenges we face together every day. Once again, I apologize. Gee, thank you. Thank you, Council President Patel.
Yeah, who made him write that? Was his handlers Craig Coughlin? Was that Patel? Who told him to write? Who wrote that for him?
Well, he's embarrassing Craig Coughlin's law firm. That's what he's doing. Craig Coughlin is a well-respected Assembly Speaker, and he's embarrassing Craig Coughlin.
Well, I mean, Craig Coughlin's the third highest Democrat in the state. This is a Democrat thing where they clamp down on your freedoms. They put themselves as transparent and that everything's lovely and the roses are great. Vote for me in, and then they cancel everything that you're allowed to do and make it non-transparent.
Well, this is about Burns. Michael Burns is the town attorney who is totally incompetent and needs to resign immediately. Well,
he's a partner in the law firm.
Yeah, he's embarrassing to that law firm, and he needs to resign from that too.
Yeah, I agree. This isn't a confusion on their part because you went in there. I went in there. Pat Duff went in there. Mike, he went in there. Bungholio, and obviously Christo's been going there for years.
Yeah,
but they were warned. This is in retaliation of Christo, Jersey Watcher, going in there and holding them accountable.
Finally, somebody holds them accountable.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we need. I think the other racket that's going on is, these assembly people, they get into these positions, into, the law firms, and then, just rake the taxpayers over the coals, taking as much money as they can, from the town. And they only hire them because they're in these positions of power. So all right, so there's 3 attorneys that put in the bid. One of them is either somebody that's in the assembly. So let me hire that person because maybe we get some influence in our town and get some money in our town. But meanwhile, they just, send in bills and give really bad legal advice. There's plenty of case law saying what we're allowed to do. Plus, it's the First Amendment. New Jersey State Constitution is more strict on our rights of having them. The Open Public Meetings Act, Rosenfeld versus New Jersey, they don't care. Because you know why? They're going to get paid at the end of the day. Because I'm sure he argued to them saying, no. If they sue, I can defend this. And he's going to get paid.
Get paid on the front end and the back end.
Yeah. If he loses, oh, well. No, he's not paying. He's getting paid.
That's why lawyers write the laws.
Yeah, I mean, well, and then that's why we have, lawyers that are Supreme Court justices in New Jersey and United States, because they know the law. I want the cops held accountable. I think the chief of police should be held accountable. I think he should resign as well.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, this is on his direction. These cops, I'm sure, didn't want to do what they had to do, but they're told to go there and do that. Now, you don't have to follow an unconstitutional law or an illegal directive, but at the end of the day, I'm going to lose my job, and what am I going to do? And then I got to try to get to another town, and I'm going to get in trouble or I have to leave because of this issue. They're not going to do that. Just on a realistic standpoint, that they're not going to do it. They're not going to stand up for our rights and say, I'm not arresting him. I'm going to actually stand up for his civil rights because that's my job, is to enforce his civil rights. And I'm going to stand next to him and make sure he doesn't get put out.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when I go and do my things, I want them to call the police because I think that they're going to uphold my civil rights. Whether it's photography or whatever the case is, they're going to come out. Yeah, he's allowed to record. Yeah, he's allowed to do this. He's allowed to do that. And it's a non-issue, and they leave.
They should know, and they do. Most cops do know, but then some of them you see on the audits, they just don't know. They have to call their supervisor, but the chief is complacent and accountable.
He's the reason why they're able to do what they're doing, because if you go up there and you curse or you do something that they don't want you to do, you get a warning, and then you do it again, you're out. with threat of arrest.
Well, how come I'm
You know,
allowed
if
to?
anybody's watching this, any attorneys watching this, we want representation. Our rights were violated. That's why they put this ordinance in. But especially Christo, because he's the one that really they wrote this for. Yes, we went in there with a puppet and a bong and masks on and stuff, but we were just supporting our friend because this is what they're doing to him, to kind of putting him on notice. Hopefully they wouldn't continue, and they continued anyhow. Even though we told them what the law is.
Yeah, they still doubled down.
Oh yeah, they tripled down. They changed the camera angles. They're limiting how much you could talk. 4 minutes. So how'd this work out for them? Where you're gonna probably have in between 500 and 1,000 people show up. People flying in to go to this meeting. So each one of them is gonna have 6 minutes to speak. Your meeting's gonna be a couple days. How'd this work out for you?
There'll be satellite trucks in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, I think the news will be there. Scott Presler's going to be there. Long Island Audit, Leroy Truth. There's going to be a lot of different people there. Because it's a violation of Christo's civil rights, everybody's civil rights. Thank God that Joel's the one that is spearheading this, because it's much more credible for him to be the one that's spearheading it versus any of us.
They're actually going to flip that town red because of this.
I hope so. I hope all those people that voted for this also get thrown out of office too, or resign. Joe Coyle, Pointer, all these guys that put this in. And remember, this ordinance wasn't even put in yet. Now it is in. So when you go there, are they going to still enforce this ordinance that's against the law? Or they're going to back down now. But meanwhile, it's still an ordinance.
There's going to be an exception for the flag, I guess, right?
Well, and they can't do that. And that's why they said it's all or nothing. So like Reed versus Gilbert Township, Supreme Court ruled you can't make laws based on content. So if you can have a flag, I can have whatever. It's still covered under the First Amendment. Mike Burns, the attorney, is saying, that's a prop. Listen, if I have a sign up that says, fuck the town, I'm allowed to do that. He can't say that's a prop. Freedom of expression is photography, videotaping, writing letters. I used to have flags up on my thing saying "fuck Biden." You're allowed to do all that stuff. It's freedom of expression. First Amendment is just not speech.
It's speech.
And it protects you from unwanted. You don't have a constitutional right not to be offended, but I do have a constitutional right to offend you.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a Larry Flint quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote, because people that think that you can't do this, you can't do that because it hurts their feelings or whatever. I really don't care.
Yeah, so he puts up a cartoon of somebody's mother having sex with a donkey, and it's sort of like that. That is so obviously satire, nobody could have believed it. Oh, okay, you're good.
Yep. And then he got in trouble for copying them and copyright infringement.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he sent it to all his followers. He made illegal copies, and he got in trouble for that.
Yeah. It was a pretty good cartoon.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think Patel's not going to show up. I don't think Josie's going to be there. You're going to see flags that they put up everywhere, and they're gonna probably read a statement out. And I don't think Mike Burns is going to be there. I think it's going to be somebody from the attorney office to try to deflect everything. And they're going to read a statement, and then they're going to take their shellacking, and hopefully they're thinking it's going to die down. And I hope it doesn't.
Well, I think reading a statement, that statement itself becomes a prop. I would prefer they just say something.
Yeah, I did an Oprah request for the Nazi ordinances up on OprahMachine.com. And I made an addendum for Joe Coyle's videotaping on the thing. Well, they told me I have to fill out their form saying, I'm not convicted of a felon, all this other stuff. I'm like, that's an addendum to the other one. So I already answered that in that one. Why you tell me I have to fill out the form? I'm like, it's an addendum, and then I asked them questions on, how'd that work out for you? No comment. I'm only a secretary here. You work for the government. Did you say anything that this is illegal, or did you say, oh yeah, Jersey Watch is a pain in the ass. Yeah, make that law up so we can stop him.
This is so absurd. It's actually hard to keep up with, and it's not because it's complicated. It's just hard to. It seems.
So if you go on X and you type in Edison, New Jersey, it's nonstop and still going on.
It's the flag, for crying out loud. Why don't you just kick a baby, disrespect a veteran, and insult some women, and you got the whole field covered there.
Yep.
But they started at the top and they're working their way down. See, it's like if I said, you're going to ban the flag, you don't know if I'm coming from the left or the right. There's nobody that's going to say, well, I can see why. I mean, you can't disrupt meetings. You're inviting it from all sides, from everywhere.
Well, I mean, I agree you can't disrupt meetings, but when it's your time to talk, whether it's 4 minutes or to 6 minutes,
that's not
you go up there and you redress your government and then you sit down. Now, I do like the fact that they have rebuttals. Like the one meeting I went to, I said, hey, on the animal shelter page, the website, it says that the ACOs do animal investigations. And there was a couple other things on there that law went into effect years ago. So why is that still on there? And the I guess it was Deputy Chief Dudash said, no, our detectives do it. So there's humane law enforcement officers that do that. My wife and I and a number of other people, we got rid of the NJSPCA years ago for corruption. So they made the helos and they stripped away the ACO's rights to investigate animal abuse. And his response was, the detectives, that's not true. The detectives do it. And I go, what's on your website? Oh, you can't talk anymore. Done. I'm disputing what he's saying. All you have to do is go on their site. I guarantee you right now, it's still not changed.
Yeah. It seems to me, I used to oversimplify things as saying, listen, if I'm in a tug of war and there's another person on the other end in a big mud pit in the middle, when I'm up to the mud pit, I have a decision. I can let go of the rope. I lose, but I'm standing high and dry and they're sitting on their asses winning. I'll take that, but they're already in the mud pit. And they're
they're done.
They're still pulling on the rope. They're not getting out of the mud pit. They're going to be dragged under. I'm loving it.
Everybody knows that statement is bullshit. So I'm on their website now. So it says open to the public, appointment required. Please call the shelter to make an appointment before coming to the shelter. That's illegal. And it's 823A law, administrative law. And then it says contact the animal shelter, blah, blah, blah. Adoption requirements. Let's see. Redemption-free animal control. So animal control. Officers are available 24/7. ACOs are responsible for enforcing town ordinances pertaining to animals, investigating animal cruelty and neglect. That's illegal. Yep. They're basically dog catchers, which is fine. I mean, listen, it's not a big deal. But you're no longer allowed to do investigations, which they really shouldn't because they're not trained for that. A cop is. And the other issue, which is humongous, so they put out this statement, and we respect the First Amendment, the flag is never banned, blah, blah, blah. And immediately after, their first thing that they do is they violate the First Amendment, restrict commenting. So you can't redress your government when they're saying, we support the First Amendment.
Oh, my God.
You can't make this up. So you can't go on there. So you got to scroll down to see where there's a comment where you can click. And as I was writing stuff down on their pages yesterday, so I hit comment. I'm writing my thing. I go to hit enter. And he must have been shutting off the commenting as I was doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, as I was doing it, he's restricting commenting, which is illegal. So Kelly Yeady years ago with the Hamilton shelter in New Jersey, she restricted commenting and censored her page. They sued her. They won. It cost them $40,000, and they didn't ask for punitive damages. They just wanted, it's it's the right thing to do. It's based on the principle of it. So they didn't want money. They just wanted it fixed. So same thing here. We want it fixed where I can comment and redress my government. Those pages are not their pages. They're owned and operable by the government. And that case is Ronco versus Carteret, New Jersey.
I just see a bumper sticker. Ronco ain't wrong.
I mean, I respect the law. I follow the law. I expect them to do the same, and they don't. They make up laws. They make up things on the go. It's all about, assholes and egos, as a friend says. Well, you can't do this. Well, why? The law says I can. Roosevelt versus Jersey. I'm allowed to curse. No, you do it again, you're out.
And you have regrets.
You don't leave, you get arrested.
I don't know. It's sort of this is almost a spectator sport at this point,
It is. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's great. You're looking online and it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
And the entire country, except for a few idiots that are like, oh, well, you're misusing the First Amendment. Oh, well, you're troublemakers from out of town. I believe in John Lewis with good trouble.
Good trouble,
that's how you got the civil rights stuff put out. Because, how dare you sit on the front of the bus? How dare you do this? That's good trouble. We want stuff changed.
Yeah.
But this stuff's already been changed. We're just enforcing what the law says. I mean, this isn't groundbreaking stuff. That is Pat.
Yeah.
Is that Pat? No, that's somebody else.
I swung by the Barrington Diner today, and we had a good little talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish that everybody would email them, because that stuff is operable. Where if everybody makes a phone call, like I was calling them Nazis and stuff, and like, you proud of this? No comment. Oh, if you're going to be hostile on the phone, I'm hanging up. I mean, it's just stupid. And the excuse is always, well, I'm just following orders. I just work here. I don't do anything with that. Well, you let it happen.
I remember, one time we were in Washington, and like fucking Montel was there doing something about cannabis, and there's like about 100 people went into the Rayburn office building, office of, it's irrelevant who it was. Wait a minute, it was the one on Souter. Suitor, they prefer it, but every time you say Souter, they go Suitor. You can do that. I swear they bite every time in one conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got there. I was helping somebody with a wheelchair get around, so it took a minute longer. They were in there, and it was chaos, but at a low level, not, and somebody said something like to other people in the room, listen, it's not his fault, the guy there. And I took over and said, hey, listen, whether or not it's his fault, he's the one here at the gate. What you got to do is give him righteous shit you're giving him, because otherwise he ain't going to go back into his boss and say, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
You give it all to him and he delivers it.
Right. He goes, what are we doing here? I don't want to go out there and get slammed. Yeah. Like, we need to address this. Yeah, if you just go up there and you're nice and like, oh, could you please change this? They don't listen. Like, there's a video on Mike's page where he goes up there, no antics. Hey, listen, you go down a really bad slippery slope. This is treacherous. Don't do this. And they were warned for months not to do this. Yeah. Nope, we're doing it anyhow. We get frustrated when we're going up there trying to express our stuff, and threatened with arrest and everything else. Where now they're frustrated because they're getting nailed left and right. How do you like it? It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, Yeah,
Now,
but
I filed 2 ethics complaints against Mike Burns. I filed complaints with the Attorney General's office of New Jersey, the prosecutor's office. I'm sure that hopefully they're investigating it, and hopefully they're investigating these allegations of date rape.
yeah.
I mean, it just gets swept under the rug. That's the chosen child. I think Patel should step down because there's no way he's running again and win an election. I think that Joshi's done too.
Oh,
I'm sure his handlers gonna be like, dude, you're too hot, you're out.
Well, somebody has to be out, and preferably like two exactly them, because you know how ridiculous that mea culpa
Everybody that voted
sounded.
for it to be out.
Yeah, there's no apology. It has to have. They know that. They got to know that. They're the ones.
Yeah, well, they apologized to Joe, but they didn't apologize to Christo, namely, and then
Yeah.
obviously us to a lesser extent. But Christo's been charged with a bunch of stuff to try to stop him. He wasn't allowed to comment or go on social media for 2 years.
I didn't know.
I mean, really?
No, I didn't know.
Well, because he did. I told him not to do this. He wanted me to go that night, going after sexual predators and stuff like that. I told him he's out of his mind. I'm 51, so let's say, and obviously I have no deviations to that, but let's say you have a 51-year-old guy out there that's trying to make out with a underage person. I have a house, kids, career, and you're some jerk off. I'm going to stab you, kill you, and fucking take off and take my chances. You're going to bleed out. The cops don't like you because you're making, you're showing how incompetent they are. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Something needs to be done. Obviously, the government needs to do it. Not, I really wouldn't say the vigilantes because they're just trying to out these people. That are sexual predators. There's cops that do that, and I guess more money needs to be directed to that aspect of policing than patrolling for license plate covers on a car.
Yeah. The lawyer, tell me something. The one that I see being escorted out because he's got the flag. I'm looking at this like I'm a common member of the public and I don't know fuck all about it. And it's sort of like I know I'm seeing like him doing this almost like it wasn't a reaction to anything. This what's the timeline on Christo being joined by others and the lawyer? What's the lawyer's name? I forget. I'm getting a mix.
Joel.
Okay. Yeah. So did Joel show up the first time because of what the guys were doing?
No, I think he might be a regular.
Yeah.
I'm not really a regular there. Obviously, Christo is. We went there to support him, once or twice.
Yeah.
I've gone to, meetings and called him out. And, like I had a sign at one time, fuck Coyle, when he was council president. And he said, I might not like it. I hate it, but it's your right to do it.
Yeah.
But now they're backtracking because Mike Burns is giving them bad legal advice to say, well, yeah, they can't curse. They can't do this. Listen, as long as you don't make fighting words or threats, you're not breaking the law.
Yeah.
If so, he goes in there with a mask on, right? Let's say it's the anonymous mask and it's plastic, and you're talking, and if nobody can hear you, that's on you. It's not like they listen to you anyhow. It's not like they answer your questions. You can talk to the wall. Yeah. So let the person do what they want. If you want to go up there in a bong suit or whatever and talk, cool. All right. You have 4 minutes. You have 6 minutes. So if you have 6 minutes per month for a year, that's 72 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Let them go up there. Who cares?
It's a job. You sit there,
Well, in fact, you don't even have to let them go up there. It's their right to go up there under the First Amendment and the Constitution, New Jersey Constitution, the Open Public Meetings Act, and that's ordained by God. That's why it's the First Amendment.
I don't know. I think if I were had to be on a committee like that, and I was in that position, I'd train myself as best I could just to look and, not say anything. because when you're wrong, it's kind of the best tactic. And
Just listen. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comments, which is what they do.
But this is happening because of them, not because of everybody else. And they should have seen a long time ago. What I asked you just last week, Lefty, I said, okay, let me backtrack. At this point, what would you settle for to close this case? And resignation. He has to resign, or whatever, whoever it was. And Lefty, you don't hardly ever just explode with an answer. You actually quick to think for a second, just that little bit. I mean, even now, I'd take a second before I'm going to talk. But that was a reaction, and it was sort of like, I don't disagree, and that's what they're going to need to do. I mean,
well, I think they need to resign. I think that they need to drop all the charges on Christo, and I think they need to pay him $1 million, or a large settlement. Us maybe a smaller settlement because we didn't get our rights trampled on as much as him, and Joel should be paid handsomely too.
Yeah,
I mean, you violated our rights.
That's just like the thing about this being outside of Edison now. It's so understandable to common people, to anybody. It doesn't take a lot of technical knowledge or municipal knowledge. Dividing lines are tough. It's sort of like trying to single one thing out without everything else. What kind of and this is Coughlin's law partner?
Yep. Yeah, he's a partner. So
that's bad for their law firm.
Right. I mean, I'm sure Patel probably has a green card. He's well educated, he's a pharmacist. I'm guessing he grew up in India, and I looked up the rights over there in India. They're pretty much the same here. Now, I don't know how much they strenuously create it being sacred, but it is sacred here that you're allowed to say whatever's on your mind. I think you need to step down. I think that, like I said, all the other ones that are natural born citizens also should step down because they were told and they voted anyhow.
Yeah, that's going to be the general consensus. I don't know. I don't know. They can't stop the bleeding.
Well, I mean, I think the attorney general should step in and investigate. What's going on there in regards to the sexual allegations and according to this stuff.
That's a good idea. Who would make that request? That's a good idea. I mean,
well, I already filed an ethics complaint with the attorney general's office, and then I filed a complaint with the prosecutor's office. I mean, I'm sure they're aware of it, but yeah, you want to file complaints with them. If you type in Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office email, you scroll down. Her name is Yolanda. There's a thing there to click to post it. If somebody wants to write up an AI thing, which I did, right? If you go on Edison Township taxpayers page on Facebook, you'll see what I wrote on my first complaint. Copy that or go on Copilot on Bing. That's a free AI thing, and you just write in the keywords. It'll write it for you. Go in, modify it as you need to, and then mail it out. Now they have to address it. Now there's a paper trail. Yeah. And it can't be just one person. If hundreds of people do it, obviously this went international, but more than likely, they're not going to do emails. They're just going to call and complain, or put it on Facebook or share it. But if they get emails or so much spotlight on this, they're going to have to do something.
What's the council member's name that was on Lefty on the podcast on Tuesday? What was his name?
Richard Brescher.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a Democrat.
In my mind, it just seems like he'd be a good person to make the request of the attorney at the attorney general's office, because he has skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like an aggrieved party such as yourself and the others making that request as well doesn't hurt, but to have him do it.
All right. He's an official, right?
Yeah.
Well, he did file a complaint with the Department of labor, I guess today or yesterday,
Yeah.
is reported on today, because they have the Department of DPW working as volunteers, even though they're employees, and I'm sure they have a union. They're going to get fined big time for that. You can't do that. If you work, you get paid for it. You think they're poor? What he's making whatever amount it is he's making. He's not doing his stuff for free. He's getting paid. So you get paid.
Amazing turn of events. Happens so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if you work, you get paid. I mean, I've been manager before, and it's like, oh, I'll punch out and continue working. No. You get paid for the time you work. That's it. For one thing, I don't want to get in trouble, but the principle of it is you're working.
Well,
I mean, I always liked that I was a salaried employee, because it doesn't matter if I stay 20 hours or stay 5 hours, you're still getting paid.
yeah, that's always nice.
But if you're just a regular employee that's hourly, I don't expect you to work for free. And that's what Edison's doing to their DPW workers. What else are they hiding that Crystal's either exposing or is putting a spotlight on it that they want to shut him up? Like in my town in Spotswood, our attorney for the town is kind of linked to all these different towns. So my wife did a poster board and showed how pretty much everybody in the town that works here has a link to her. And she did a poster board and showed it. You wouldn't be able to do that in Edison. You'd be thrown out. That's a prop. I mean, is holding a camera a prop? The law is the law. I have to follow it just like you do. That's why when I go up and I talk, I sit down. You might not like what I say when I'm on the podium. It's my right to say it, but I sit down at the end of it, and I sit down, and that's it.
This diorama I'm sitting in front of would be illegal, and
Yep.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
It's silly. And that's, like I said, that's why they made it all or nothing, because you can't just cut out, well, you can't have, a rainbow flag, but you can have the American flag. You can't have that prop, but you can have this prop. That's why they did all or nothing.
Trouble.
Yeah, you can look at Reed versus Gilbert Township, because they had sign ordinances like our election just happened, and back a couple of years ago, I had a sign in my front lawn, and within hours, I had the zoning department official here saying, "Take it down, or I'm getting a ticket." And I'm like, "It's my First Amendment right. Get out of here." And my wife, Colleen, she looked it up, and it's Reed versus Gilbert Township. So if I can have a sign that says "I love God," I can have a sign up that says "I want to vote for Trump." Doesn't matter. You can't restrict based on content.
What about the children?
Yeah, and that's always the excuse. Yeah. What about the children? Well, Roosevelt versus New Jersey, that was the Board of Education meeting in 1972 when he called them all motherfuckers. So if anywhere a kid's going to be is going to be an education meeting, a Board of Education meeting, not really at a council meeting, but this is grown-up time. This isn't a play area, but even still, if it was a play area, your First Amendment doesn't get paused in front of kids. If I'm playing, Axl Rose or whatever music saying, fuck the police, and the kid walks by, you're going to find, Ice-T from 30 years ago. He's the one that said it. It's ridiculous.
Ban it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, True Live Crew, it's been ruled on. Speech, singing, disability rights or human rights is freedom of expression.
Rights. No, it's repetitive.
Doesn't matter. It's a song. You don't think songs are repetitive? That's why they have a hook.
That's the same kick drum throughout the whole song. I'm sick of it.
And then the other issue too is, Robert's Rules. And I'm not an expert at this at all. I have the book. I've read a bunch of it. We're not members of the government. Obviously, we're not on the board. but at the same time, we have speaking privileges or rights at the meeting. So, you do a point of order, a point of privilege, which I think are the only ones that we're really allowed to bring up. They don't even address it. Okay, next. What are you talking about? You said a point of privilege that you're violating his rights. Rule on it. Nope, next. What? But then when Painter said about you being repetitive, sustained. Oh, so you do know how to do it. And remember, these guys go to League of Municipality meetings. They just had it a couple weeks ago where they go to all these training sessions. And I know that at the one for the Oprah training session, at the slides, my Ronco versus Carteret comes up, and the attorneys tell everybody at those training sessions, you cannot do any of this stuff. You can't erase, you can't block, you can't do this. So they know about it, and they do it anyhow because what do you do, sue? Go ahead, sue. Not my money. So, and if you don't have money to sue, okay, I get away with it.
That's the way it works.
Hey, they've been getting away with this for years. It just so happened that, nice suit on, the guy's a lawyer, he gets thrown out, and it blows up. Thankfully it blew up, to shine a spotlight on this. And like I said, I'm glad it was him. I certainly wouldn't want everybody calling me, 24/7. But the news cycle is quick. It's gonna be over in a couple days. But thankfully he's the poster child for this.
It worked. Maybe that had something to do with why it went viral.
Well, and we funneled it into that. Where, all right, we went in there with the drama and the theatrics, the bong and the masks on, but that was just to say, you're ridiculous. What's the big deal? So we funneled it into that. And then obviously they used, I guess, the extreme of the First Amendment where, hey, here's a flag. You're going to do it with this? Yep, you're out.
Just like that.
And exploded on them.
Well, Robert's Rules of Order, the book itself would be a prop if you had used it.
Correct. So if I pulled that out to say you're in violation, page 35, however you annotate it, I'd be thrown out.
Yeah.
But we're under Robert's rules in that council meeting.
Yeah, but
they don't follow Robert's rules.
Yeah, but at one point earlier, not this last time around, the lawyer had to flag in the Constitution at the same time, a pocket.
Yep.
Copy of the Constitution. It's like, come on, double whammy.
Yeah, it's sacred. That stuff is sacred. Like, as a veteran,
good choice.
When I'm buried, there'll be a flag. I have up on my wall my grandfather's flag that served in World War II Navy, my father's flag that he served in Vietnam era. It's sacred. You're gonna arrest me for having my father's flag on me? I wanted to go in my dress blues. I don't fit in them anymore. I'm way too fat. But you can arrest a Marine in dress blues with his father's flag? Ridiculous.
Yeah. That's why I was just so surprised. If I went back and looked at whichever, I think Tuesday podcast, I first heard this. This is a while back now, not that far back. But as soon as I heard about the flag,
because
it's all over. No, it was all over. It was like instant. This was the inevitable end because of that. Not necessarily going viral, but the ban of the flag. You banning the flag for a meeting? Come on.
Right, but remember they banned they banned the mask. They banned costumes. They banned props. They didn't expect American flag to come up there. So
I did.
Oh shit! Well, we had to ban that too because all props are, so we can't make exceptions to it because that's already ruled on. And NJ Medman, I just read your thing. That's why I put my glasses on. If they are in the wrong, won't a lawyer in filing a lawsuit accomplish more than complaining and wasting time at the council meeting? Well, that's where you redress your governments. That's a time, place, and manner. And the thing is, a lot of lawyers either want 25 grand or they don't want to even be involved with it because then they get targeted because they're going after the government and maybe they lose their license or get censored or whatever the case is. So a lot of lawyers don't even want to touch it. I mean, we need lawyers. You going to pay for it? I mean, I don't have $100,000 to pay for it. Well, I'll take a lawyer. Mikey and I got arrested in Lavalette for recording the meeting. Within a minute, we were arrested. That's unconstitutional. We filed a motion to dismiss. It was dismissed and expunged. That was an illegal arrest. And over there, the mayor, the son's the chief of police, and the other son's a sergeant that arrested us.
And they spent $17,000 on their lawyer to
prosecute us. And we beat them pro se. I don't know all the laws, and some of it maybe I'm a little bit off on and stuff like that. I'm not a lawyer, but we can read on the third grade level. And now because of Edison, now I have the LSAT, and I'm starting to study for the LSAT. So we'll go to law school, and then we'll just sue the government. I take a couple cases a year. Fine.
Medman says twisting of the narrative got the flag ban lifted, nothing else.
Everything is lifted. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, they have to lift everything.
Yeah, Reed versus Gilbert Township. You can't make a law based on content. So if it's a flag, I can have the POW flag. I can make my own flag. Right now, I have a flag up on my pole that says "Mark safe from another Palmer administration," because my mayor is a scumbag too.
Yeah, Spotswood's got a couple of winners in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, she went after the chief of police and like 5 cops and just making things up as they go. She's on body worn camera, which I sued for, lost, but we're appealing it. Where there was a homeless black guy in the building, and she's like, "Oh, the elephant in the room is that we're a white town and he's black. Get him out of here." You don't need a lawyer to file a lawsuit, but the intricacies of it and motions and stuff, you want to know what you're doing. You don't want to have the case dismissed or thrown out because you're not educated enough to file those motions and respond to those motions in a timely manner as a lawyer would, because they're obviously have gone to law school and understand the complexities of law and how to file motions and stuff like that. So it's kind of why you don't want to file your own, because they might throw 10 motions on you and you got to respond to them, and if you don't, it's gone, and then there goes your lawsuit, and then you can't even get a lawyer for it then.
Well, are you suing Lavalette? Do you have a lawyer, or are you suing Lavalette?
I do have a lawyer. I tried reaching out to him. I haven't heard from him. He supposedly sent a demand letter for $1 million and for Sergeant LaCicero to hand us the check when we got arrested. And he's like, "Good. I hope you sue it. I hope you get a lot of money." I said, "When we do, you're giving me the check."
I want that transcript in court.
It's great.
If they are in the wrong legally, wouldn't just filing a lawsuit have a good chance of them dropping it?
No, because they have bad legal advice. The thing is, let's say you do sue, and let's say the lawyer just wants to make a lot of money because he gave bad legal life, so he's going to make $500,000. Or the other attorney $17,500 to prosecute us. They made money. This is all incestuous. So if you look at all the different towns, all these lawyers and all these guys are all mixed in the same towns. So if you're an assembly person, you apply to become a lawyer for the town. They hire you thinking that, well, we're going to get money in the town. We're going to get this, that, and the other thing for hiring this guy or girl assembly person, and they rake over the town, get bad legal advice. They get paid for it when you sue.
Yeah, who's suing Edison? Why not hire a lawyer? Who is somebody going to sue Edison? I guess
give me some money. I'll get a lawyer.
Maybe Joel will.
No, Joel's getting a free lawyer from the fire. So I filed a application with the fire as well, and I contacted the ACLU a while ago before this broke out, and got nothing. But now this breaks out. Now the ACLU jumps in.
Oh, now they jump in.
Yeah, now they jump in. I emailed them like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, been begging you for months.
Yeah, I mean, hey, this is what's going on. Unless it's in the public eye, they don't care about it.
Well, and they're busy too. They're also very busy. I understand that, but
Right, they're busy and they can only take so many cases, but um, there's no criminal charges. Usually they don't want to take it. There's a criminal charge. Once you get that out, then they'll take it. There's no criminal charge. They're just violating everybody's rights.
Did they respond to you at least?
Nope. Nope. I keep checking it. Nope.
That I would have a problem with. I mean, I agree they're busy, but they are the ACLU, and some people really depend on them, whether they're busy or not. And I say hire somebody to write polite responses as to such.
Yeah, I mean, you can have an intern here. I
I
think a lot of it, they're just a leftist organization because I keep on getting text messages because I do, I guess, subscribe to them or whatever, about trans rights, how Trump is going to destroy everybody, how he's going to kick out all the illegals. What about issues for your citizens?
Well, I'll tell you, I think sometimes we should deal with what's happening before we deal with stuff that might happen.
Right.
I mean,
right.
if that's what you think, and that's kind of my problem lately.
Well, it's a moot point if it's not happening.
It is if you can't move the needle, spending time on something like that is taking away from where you could move the goal.
Correct.
The change.
Right. I mean, it's a moot point if it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
If something has happened.
Exactly. So if somebody wants to give me a 30-second quick, here's an overlay. I want to know where the trains are and which way they're going.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not standing on the fucking tracks, I don't really care past knowing that. And if I don't get a vote, do I get a vote? No. Well, then fuck me. I got things to do. I'm having a problem with just that flow of things. That's all I'll say about that because I don't really take part.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that like if I got $1 billion, I'd make an organization almost like the ACLU, and I would just have attorneys that sue for corruption, sue for things that the government does that is in violation of law. And just when they get a third, it goes right back into it, and I finance it, and they just sue everybody. But I'm not a billionaire. And somebody that's rich isn't giving a shit about any of this.
This is what got the this is the nuclear bomb that got this whole thing started. This is it right here.
There was one comment on Reddit saying, "Is that the same bong that was at the 420 convention? Like how many purple bongs are running around New Jersey?"
It's the same full size purple bong.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on X or Reddit and you type in Edison, New Jersey flag and all that, oh my God, it's nonstop.
Now, why am I not seeing this in the news like what I'm looking at right now? Isn't this something the media would like to fill in with now?
I mean, if you're an investigative journalist, you can look at the backstory. I kind of like that they're not, because we're a bunch of wackos, and yes, we're expressing our rights and stuff, but the main issue is being dealt with.
Yeah, these guys are a lot more of. There's no flag waving going on. But
right, I mean, he's in there with the thing, and we have masks on and stuff like that. We do some cursing. Like the one guy said ass, and then he goes up there. He said ass. Not that I'm ratting on him, but who gives a shit?
That's so much like the first swearing done on Home Box Office back in the day. Murray Langston, the unknown comic. Had a paper bag over his head and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he was
on the Gong Show.
Yeah, he was on that very first swearing on MTV. As I watched it happen, it was quite the event back in the day. And he didn't have his hat on. He goes, said something, and he goes, so who gives a shit? Oh, fuck, I said shit. Oh, shit, I said fuck. It was just so... So I clearly remember that, but
but speaking of that, Lefty goes, "What are the 7 words I can't say?" Like George Carlin, and they couldn't answer him. And
No,
even
exactly.
Mr. Patel goes, I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, but then see, when I heard that, I thought, I mean, if I ever made the trip to Edison, I would have a list of questions, words that I need to know where the line is. So can you say,
They don't answer you.
can I say poop? No, I say, yeah, but say, I'll be able to tell by your expressions. So just sit there and listen to me. Poop? Okay, that's good. Shit? No, you don't like that. Okay. You know, in other words, like if they're going to be the ones doing that, that would be just some fun, you know. You can't run that divided. I don't even know when it happened. I mean, because also back in the day, you couldn't. That's why George Carlin had his 7 dirty words. And I one time, friend of mine, a good friend in high school, had his finger blown off in a firework thing, and so it was his middle finger. So we were at the Halloween parade in Toms River, which was like a huge thing, you know.
Yeah, I've been to that.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, being the guy that he was, you know, we might have had a couple of beers at 16 or 17 years old doing it. You know, just anyway, he gave a cop the finger. I can't get that ring finger up, you know. And right away, he was on him. And he says, I didn't. You gave me the finger. I didn't give you the finger. You did. And then he looks at his hand and goes, holy crap, I did. Give it back. You know, he was freaking mortified because it was like right off.
There's no finger, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a half a thing, you know. It is, you know.
And that's been ruled on. Again, your feelings.
I saw that coming. That's why I remember it so clearly because I thought, well, yeah, that's one of the perks, I guess, you know.
So we got another question. Anybody refused to leave when asked to leave for unconstitutional reasons? So we did that in Lavalette. We got arrested. Obviously, that was dismissed and stuff like that. Again, if you get arrested, they're gonna charge you not with violating cursing or anything like that. They're gonna say that you're trespassing. You know, like Bongholio, Christo, and I think Pat were all told get off the property. This building's not open to the public right now. It's only open for the council meeting. You were thrown out of there. You have to leave.
It's literally the definition of open to the public.
Yeah, I mean, it's open to the public. And the thing is, if there's 2 meetings in the same day, you can be thrown out of the first one and go right to the second one.
Doubleheader.
That's Open Public Meetings Act.
Well, Bongholito's first meeting ended in a flag ban. Good going, Bongholito.
Oh, it's Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we only went there to support him, saying what you're doing is unconstitutional. Let him talk. Let him put his mask on. Let him do whatever he wants to do within the Constitution, within his rights. He can't threaten you. He can't do fighting words. Other than that, let him talk. You're 4 minutes, 6 minutes. All right, thank you. Have a good day. And you're frustrated. Like, are you gonna answer anything? Nope. Next.
I have one question for Nishith Patel. Are you feeling mad? Are you feeling mad?
Yeah, and we're not xenophobic. The guy probably has his green card, I would imagine. He could be born here. I don't know. But my thing is, the law of the land here is very specific. There's already case law and everything else on there, which we brought up. And Mike Burns is certainly a citizen, I would imagine anyway. It seems like he's from New Jersey or from the United States, natural born citizen. But he's the one that wrote the ordinance.
I looked up Patel. He was, I guess, born here. I forget exactly what it was because it's the first thing I wanted to know. But I didn't delve into it. It was, I think that.
Right, but if the guy was white like Mike Burns, nobody would even question it.
No, but that's kind of what I wanted to know. Not because I would be holding grudges. I was looking for ammunition. That's all. I'm thinking, what, are you going to ban the flag?
Hey, Google, turn on living room lights.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, if he had an accent, I might question it. But at the same time, your parents, they might have been immigrants that came here legally. you have the access to them.
I was just curious because it stands on its own. He could be as American as apple pie or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I went to boot camp with guys that were from India.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you're willing to fight for our country? I'm all for it.
The flag is the flag. It doesn't matter who brings it up or says anything to the contrary. It's just the flag. You don't do that. The Constitution. My God,
But the bigger picture here is it's not the flag; it's the First Amendment, and they created this ordinance to trample and stifle on the First Amendment.
Yeah,
the flag is just the top level of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody exploded. But like if they got thrown out for wearing the Guy Fawkes anonymous mask, this wouldn't be online.
Yeah,
but it's the same exact principle.
Right.
Yeah, I
the story before.
A lot of people are like the First Amendment from all walks of life, but it seems to be more in the past, more of a liberal faction that would be my First Amendment rights. Not for being liberal, just because I had to use my First Amendment rights decades ago, and it's
so important.
It's the the vitriol, the real motivating force between the two is the flag. You don't fuck with the flag. I don't hear anybody going, you don't fuck with my First Amendment rights. It's like, you don't mess with my First Amendment rights. You know, it's so different. I feel that, you know, and that's why to me, the flag and then the Constitution, I mean, between the two of them, that was a force, you know. It was like, you know, that should be the statue in the end, you know.
Back in 2014, I had a video that went viral. It was 1 million hits, and I was getting phone calls. I'm sure like Joel is. And that guy said, "Oh, if Obama doesn't follow the flag, you know, the Constitution, then we don't have to follow it." And like, what? It's the law of the land. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Plus, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Didn't anybody else's mommy tell them that growing up? That's all I ever heard. And you know, it made sense. You know, be right.
Right, but we're following the law.
Yeah. Oh,
they're not. We're following the law.
It's too clear, and they got the wrong figurehead example of flag.
Yes.
And it's already over. It's done. It hasn't played out yet. That's all.
Well, the ordinance is still on the books. I mean, are they going to still enforce an unconstitutional ordinance?
Yeah, it won't be. I mean, in other words, that's done. It hasn't happened. It's like if you're falling without a parachute, you're alive. You're cool. You're alive. But it's not unchangeable.
Right, but my fear is once the spotlight is gone, they're going to try to do something else to stifle his right to go up there and redress his government.
Well, this is where the carnival comes in handy, though, because even if they do that, when I say the carnival, I mean back to the bong hole. You know, it's sort of like it's okay. Well, then if we can't get anywhere, we have time to annoy you, and we'll come and annoy you. However, we're not going to stop coming.
This would be great.
Well, they'll just start giving you summonses.
Yeah.
Don't arrest you there. Don't just issue your summons.
You stay short of that line. I mean, you know, if you know what the dividing lines are.
But even if you didn't break the law, I could issue you a summons. Now you don't have it on video. I send it to you in the mail. There's no controversial video, but you still have to go to court. And even if you didn't do it, I could still find you guilty. The judge might still find you guilty. And if you don't have money for an appeal, it sticks.
Yeah, if that follows the American flag, though, it's too late for that now, you know.
Right, but my concern is once the spotlight is over, or other towns, hopefully other towns, you bring this up, and they're going to go, I don't want to be anywhere near that. Like, just let them talk.
That's what I'm hoping. This is like the example, you know, that if I were a municipal official of any kind in the way of that, I'd wonder, where are we on this sort of shit? What if somebody comes in here and says, where are we on this shit? Can we let them say, where is it? They're going to at least be getting in tune with themselves a little more. I would. I mean, you know, not like making plans and drawing up documents. I'm just saying, like, okay, what would we do? You know, we don't want that to happen. That's the example.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, I think at this point they're not going to do anything. Any other town. You know, but then they have egos, and you know they get bad legal advice, and 5 years from now they do it anyhow.
Yeah. No, you never know. You never know.
And the thing is, if you don't have an attorney, like NJ Medman said, you're standing up there, cops surround you. You don't leave, they're going to arrest you, charge you with trespassing. Now you got to hire an attorney, or you're going to be found guilty. Maybe you'd be found guilty anyhow with an attorney because you were told to leave. You didn't leave. Meanwhile, it was unconstitutional order.
Yeah.
And they don't listen to you anymore anyhow. Your time is forfeited. You can't forfeit my time. Losman versus Riviera Beach, Florida, they made a policy there, and they arrested that guy. He took it to Supreme Court and won.
Listen,
they arrested him. That's the thing. It's my time to talk.
I had a golden opportunity one time. I think it actually fits here, and I'll try to give you the lightning quick round. It's hard. Cheryl and I were protesting at Bon Jovi's house because of the Al Gore thing, and we were forced to move down on Constance by Secret Service and all because I had no backup plan. In other words, I couldn't get arrested, so I had to know where the line was,
Right.
And when I'm doing that, but here's my point. Beyond all that, never mind Al Gore, what we had there was now Sink River Road. You could only come up so far, and it had this Barney Fife, if he was shorter, maybe about 6 feet, a rent-a-cop from Middletown. And they also had a state trooper who is whatever the height limit is for a state trooper, like 6'8" or something. And nice guy. And we were, we had to go down there,
Right.
And then the moment was so surreal to me that when this guy who looked like Barney Fife, you drive up, if you didn't have a placard that you could get farther, he'd turn you around, or he could move you down this cul-de-sac. And when he saw the placard, his car, he went and he did this Barney Fife, and I thought it was funny. Now there's no traffic going on, and it's really quiet. It's gotten dark. It's humid. It's going to be a storm. And if I can whistle, I started whistling the scene song, and then the state trooper comes over and says, "I'm going to have to ask you to stop whistling that." I said, "Whistling that or whistling all together?" And he says, "You know what I'm talking about." And I said, "But I don't know any statutes about that." And he goes, "Hindering an officer in the discourse of his duties." That's a quote,
For whistling?
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I know. No, exactly. But you know how much fun, Steve, how much fun I could have had with that, but it would have involved disobeying an illegal order, and I couldn't. It tore me up.
Right, but if at any point,
going to court for whistling the theme song to Anna Mayberry.
Right, but at any point of him getting tired with you, he arrests you, and then later on they just drop the charges.
I was laughing at that, saying, "Yeah, whatever. Obviously, I'm not prepared to go any further." And he was kind of laughing and smiling, and even I was, because we both know, okay, that's how it had to end. But
all right, hang on one second. My wife just gave me something that's online. They're talking about Coughlin, I guess. With the rise of his law firm coinciding with that power, good governments call Coughlin's financial ties troubling, saying they raise questions about whether he's profiting from his public role from municipalities seeking a friend in the speaker, which is what we said. Elected officials are there to serve the people, not also to reap the benefits of doing so on the other side of things, which is exactly what we said. They're reaping the rewards for being speakers by getting, 4 or 5 towns and making a lot of money. You don't need a high dollar lawyer. You just need somebody that has the conviction to go after them, whether it's pro se or whether it's pro bono or they get paid at the end of the day. But complaining is airing your grievances and making a scene and stuff like that until they force you to leave, not just tell you to leave, but with threats of arrest. And then obviously this is what comes out. It goes viral.
Okay, when I had Cheryl's memorial wheelchair with a sign in it saying, "Here lives Congressman Pallone. He lied while my wife died." So I had that going, and when they came about midnight, SWAT style with the whole thing, I had fun. When he said, like, "What are you doing?" And I go, well, if you got to ask, I'm not doing it right. And then he said, how do you even know that Congressman Pallone lives here? I said, well, actually, I didn't. I did go down to the municipal office and I looked it up, and it said that Frank and Sarah Pallone owned this. My worry was that maybe they rented it out or something. So I didn't really know until you asked me,
Right.
and that made him angry, and then he said, you're going to have to leave. And I went, and he said, well, blah, blah, play this again. I said, actually, you got to tell me why. You got to say it twice even. It's been my experience because you want to make it clear. And so then all I had to do was rely on the First Amendment rights in the morning. He said, people fear for their life and their property because they can't see your sign. They don't know what you're doing here. I'm going, okay,
not my problem.
But my play was to come back in the morning when it's light out, and be mic'd for sound and a videographer crossing the parking lot.
Time, place, and manner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and tell the morning crew they really want to know the Bill of Rights, and they don't have to read far. It's the first one. It's a quick read. And the next morning, I was there for 3 hours. Police would not waive. This is just on the border of Long Branch, just above Elberon. So they do their route and turn around and go back, and I'd wave and they would ignore me. And I just stayed long enough that they didn't go to church that morning because there was like a 10:35 service they attend down the road 3/4 of a mile. They would have had a ride right by me, and my camera, and so that was just very satisfying. And it didn't. There was going to be no lawsuit or anything, but going to the edge and doing that got exactly what I did want. The reason we're there is he was voting on a resolution of Congress agreeing with that marijuana should never be legalized for medical purposes in any state because it's a dangerous and addictive drug. It's just something. Here's a resolution, and he signed onto that. And of course, we wanted to object, so that's how I objected. This was after Cheryl died, and he promised to talk to Rob Andrews. Congressman Andrews said no, he never did, and that's why I went down. He lied. Lied, well, so he never did. And that was my response because I just felt like doing it because that's the headspace I had. But what happened was,
I think with Trump getting in and Elon smoking pot on Joe Rogan's show and stuff, I think federally it'll be done.
Yeah, it will be. But more to the point here, though, is the next year when it was time to vote on that resolution, my friend, the late, great Gary Sage, the one who worked on a lot of this shit with me, went to the office. He was a constituent and said, Jim doesn't want to have to come back again to your congressman's house. He says if you abstain, if you're going to keep voting on it, just abstain, and he'll wipe the slate clean to this point. I was just going for something. So it turns out he went the other way. Instead of just abstaining, he voted against it. And he hasn't seen me since. So at least now, when I'm talking about Senator Scutari now, I'm feeling the same vibe. And it's going to come with a warning written by an Esquire that basically he could get in touch with Congressman Pallone. He'll take your call, Senator Scutari. Ask him how this is going to play out. Wait, Jim wouldn't say something like that because, whatever. It's all I'm trying to do and will be, unless something else happens to do, is gain a negotiation foothold saying, listen, this is easy. It's like 15 minutes of a Zoom meeting that's recorded and out there. Everybody has a role. Right. That's it. That's all. Explain what the hell is going on. So you might appreciate this if you hadn't heard the real quick version. Is basically to be an Esquire letter to Menton Township Police, because that'll be where he lives, and also to his office. That here's kind of how it's going to be: just me, a sign standing between the curb and the sidewalk, facing away from the house for about 3 hours one day. but you won't know when, and that's his road. Please respond. Please respond. This is a negotiation.
Well, he should come out and talk to you. I mean, what the hell?
Well, no, yeah, I know, would, but it's sort of like this is the roughest form. It's going to depend on a lot of things between now and it's probably not. There's no point in doing it I'm thinking actually till next year when things can be done at the state level when we're back for the second half of that would be the right time to do it. But I'm just saying, that's and that one I get to go to the edge. I mean, that'll be if it's an arrest.
So my wife just gave me an article from Politico. So income for Coughlin's law firm doubled during his first term. It looks like in office.
Really?
So they made from 43 public clients $3.6 million. And this is from 2018.
Oh, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, they're raking it in.
No, I mean
the attorney from my town, she holds like I don't know 4 or 5 different towns, and she's made over $1 million last year. Do you know attorneys that make $1 million?
No.
No, and NJ Medman. It's not that lawyers don't do this; they do. And I've tried reaching out to some, but again, if there's a lawyer out there or an organization, and like I said, I contacted the ACLU, the fire. I emailed a couple of attorneys. A lot of them want money. You have money for it? I'll take your money and sue, and then pay you back in the end.
Boy, there should be somebody with a lot of money has a business doing just that. I like that. I mean, it could be a money maker.
Right, but you're going after the government, and all of a sudden you start getting complaints on your business, on your license.
Yeah, well, it is all over my head. I live vicariously off this stuff.
Right. I mean, just like Christo going after them, they charge them. They keep on attacking him. So they would essentially do the same thing with an attorney, in my opinion, where it's like, you're an issue. You're showing the corruption. We don't like you. You're not playing the game.
I got to be going pretty soon. This has been awesome.
Yeah, fun times, man.
Glad I got the alert. Well, I like, this is a good way to keep really up to date with what's going on. I mean, it's all understandable to a degree also. It's not that complicated as it's laid out with nothing for me to figure out really,
It's easy. It's First Amendment. Just fucking let them talk.
Yeah, too late for that. We need resignations.
Yeah,
but
now they're going to hear an earful from 1,000 people. Now, if they followed the ADA requirements and had Zoom meetings, everybody in the world will be able to be in that meeting.
Yeah, they don't want that.
No, which is one of Lefty's complaints, and I agree with him. I'm a disabled vet. If I can attend a council meeting like I'm on this podcast right now, I might.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people go, "Oh, you're just troublemakers. I don't know. Do I need permission to go to a council meeting in the United States of America, or do I have freedom?"
Hey, it's easier to kick somebody out of a Zoom meeting than a meeting itself.
Right, but it would still be illegal.
I know, which works for us or for you, but they can't win. It's like being in the corner in checkers or whatever. You can go back and forth all you want, but
Right, but the thing is, you got to stay within the legal line, like we are, because otherwise they start charging you, and then attorneys are like, "Well, it's going to be 50 grand, and did you trespass? Well, you were told to leave, you didn't leave."
Yeah,
you have to get over that hump too.
Well,
and then the other issue is, if you do get charged with, let's say, trespassing, you have 3 to 5 years worth of going to court and trial and everything else. It's not like, oh, you get seen within a year and it gets resolved. You want to go out to, the shore in the summer, and then you have court that day. You want to go somewhere, and then you have court. You can't do it. Oh, your Your daughter's graduating? No, you have court.
I avoided it that one time in Washington where uh, it worked to my advantage. Uh, well, I had to plead guilty because their way of fighting uh, me being arrested and Cheryl not being arrested because she consented to leave. Meaning, after they dragged me away from Bob Barr's office, they
Right.
said, "You want us to help you get in your wheelchair?" And she said, "Well, yeah, consent to leave." Okay, I had my shield was freaking gone, you know.
Yeah, it's all stupid.
Yeah, but at that point, yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, guilty of obeying an unlawful order, you know, in my mind. And
Yep.
but it worked out like really, really good because there was no fine, no time. It was had the right to a jury trial because it was possible 6 months or $500, the low thing. And the whole plan was doing this in D.C. The only place to appeal is to the Supreme Court after a court case
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
That was the plan, you know. But what
Yeah, but then
happened
you have
is
to have an attorney that is
well,
licensed to do that.
I tell you, it's impressive what they did. They brought in eight. They had 8 witnesses. The police pretty much going to duplicate everything. They planned on a 4-day presentation. They would not allow the medical staff to take care of Cheryl. They wouldn't allow that to happen. And she wasn't allowed in the courtroom because she would taint the jury by her very presence. So
Wow.
yeah. So I
It's
couldn't.
always in their favor, not in yours.
No. It meant like what a shitty way to beat
Mm-hmm.
me. What a
Yep.
shitty way. But they
Right.
knew
It's in their favor, not yours.
they knew damn well, you know. And yeah, so it worked out really good. And the only thing what worked out good is my lawyer made a deal with the judge. Actually, had to outlast one judge. She had to get off early, and she was like really against this. You know, when she said,
Mhm.
"I thought this is what it was about," motion denied. Okay, so anyway, we got assigned from the pool. She had to go off at 3. We dicked around. He kept going back and forth, you know, and then we said, okay, we do that. And they did assign it to different judge, and it was the best ever maverick defense lawyer before he became a judge. And my lawyer made the deal to plead guilty. You don't get to say a word. We get to talk. You
Mhm.
know, deal. Awesome. So when Mark said, "Your Honor," when we start talking, there's a picture of Cheryl and Bob Barr 2 days before they she laid down in his office doorway and they refused to move. And as you can see, there's no animosity. It's just a cordial picture.
Mhm.
So yeah, I started. But the defense is, there's no motion or mention of pictures. The defense has pictures too. Picture a judge doing this, looking at the picture. He goes, sit down. He did that. He says, you know the agreement. He said, sit. He backhanded him, you know. And
Nice.
anyway, so the judge said, in my turn, when I had to speak, as I said, look, they got 8 people not doing what they should be doing here, duplicating it, so that I would plead guilty. You know, I mean, I laid it out.
Yep.
You know, the judge is really like, this is before, you know, he has his final say. And I said, I apologize. You know, you got way worse problems. I see there's 8 uniformed officers in here waiting to drag this out, you know, a show of what force. So I said, yeah, I apologize for that. It never should have went that way. And the judge said, you know, listen, I'm sorry to say I got to get $50 for you for victims compensation fund. Other than that, no fine, no time. And I wish you sincerely do well in your endeavors here, you know.
Mhm.
And it was just like, okay, so it did work out, but my whole elongated, well, actually, that is the short version. It is, yeah, it worked out, and the times where there was no arrest, it always works out, you know. Uh, Not so much for a good lawsuit, you know, but I don't know. I've had some luck, and I don't. I like it's going to be interesting to see how this works out, and
My wife just gave me another article about Conklin's law firm from NorthJersey.com. I don't have a date on it, but it says Coughlin's Woodbridge-based law firm held 63 public contracts last year, up from 55 in 2020, and more than double the 31 the law firm held when it started just 5 years ago. Many of the contracts have also grown in value. The firm's contract with the city of Long Branch was worth about 60 grand in 2018 and grew to more than $300,000 last year. Meanwhile, the contract with the Township of Monroe grew from about $19,000 in 2018 to more than $400,000 last year.
wow,
2010.
that doesn't sound.
Last year, the firm had
good.
contracts totaling more than $1.7 million to serve as legal counsel for these funds.
That creates a bit of a perception.
Lawmakers are prohibited only from contracts with state entities like the Department of EPA, not local or county agreements. So, all right, you wanna hire me? Hire me, and put up the thing. Maybe I can help you get some money in the town for road projects or whatever. Whatever they do, and then they rape the shit out of the towns. The state commission investigation really should investigate all these towns with their lawyers, how much they're charging them, and if they're state assembly people, that needs to be stopped.
I'll tell you, that just sounds so like New Jersey to people that don't live in New Jersey. Think, that doesn't surprise me about your state.
Oh, if you ask anybody if there's corruption in New Jersey, anybody in the state will say absolutely yes. Anybody in the country.
Yeah.
Why do we accept that?
We got a thing about getting a slice of the pie here. I'll say that.
Yeah,
that's a good metaphor in New Jersey, especially though.
Right, but why do we accept it? We know there's corruption, but nobody does anything about it. Then we do something about it. Then you're a troublemaker.
Yeah, well, not nobody. I'm looking at a good example of that's not true. Not nobody does it. You guys, it's there. It's open.
Right, but I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm kind of tired of it. And I kind of keep getting back into it because I know how to do Oprah, but they just changed Oprah to stop you from getting information.
Yeah,
and in some mayors, they say, well, anytime you email, you attach the lawyer to it. That way we don't have to do Oprah to it. Yeah, that's not what Oprah's for. What are you doing?
I got to roll, man. But I got to tell you, I can relate to being tired of having to do something because you can be effective at it, and if you don't, who will? You got somebody coming up behind you? Not likely. You have no choice. I get that, man. I really do, man.
Right. So, you're the one sticking your ass or your neck on the line. You're the one that might get charged. You're the one that might have to, sell your stuff to get a lawyer. You're the one that might go to jail. At the end of the day, they go to court and get paid.
Yeah. All right.
They don't care.
I got to run. It's been fun. Oh, Lefty, is this in place of tonight? What we're doing is this here, or are you having another Zoom meeting at 7? You're muted.
What do you mean?
Well, okay. The scheduled guest for tonight can't make it. You know that, right?
Yeah, we're doing 4:20 Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4:20.
This week are we doing this for the rest of Thursdays as well?
This is it. This is our time now. 4:20.
And next Thursday it'll be 4:20.
Forever and ever and ever and ever.
I didn't get the memo. Did I get the memo?
I put a flyer out. I'll send it to you. It's really cool.
I called you. You don't have any way to even leave a message on your box there.
I have a flyer. I'll send you the flyer.
Yeah.
Man. I left a long one on Mikey's. It was like 3 minutes long. I just kept on talking.
These guys, who knows, man? All right.
Thanks, Jim.
Then this is.
I already made official complaints with the Attorney General's office, with
good.
The OPIA, the Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability.
OPIA.
Yeah, the Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability of State Troopers.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I followed with them. Yeah, there was just a comment there. I
right.
filed with the prosecutor's office. I filed with the ethics complaint on the attorney twice. So that should be with the state bar. So maybe he's going to get censored, but he should have to answer to that with the state bar. Why he's creating illegal ordinances that are well unconstitutional, so much so that it made international news.
Oh, you are a pain in the ass, aren't you? Holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
like you said, you have to do an official complaint. Everybody's just complaining.
Listen, if we can have good trouble, we can have good pain in the ass. That's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Well, you do a paper trail. Now they got to answer to it.
All right, man.
You complain on Facebook, nobody answers.
This has been really enlightening here. It's a great way to start my evening. And
I just see Lefty's head.
Thanks, Jim. We're going to end it too. I'm going to thank CMMNJ, Countersense, UFCW, JacksonStorms.com, Smoking Monkey, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, Mad Hatter Dispo. They got their CO this week, so any day now. I believe it's weeks away from being open here. And Sativa Cross.
Also, Jersey Watch, if you want to see the videos that led up to this, I have a couple on mine in this day and age on YouTube, but mainly they're on New Jersey Transparency and Jersey Watchers YouTube pages.
Yeah, and I got a couple on Sativa Cross. I'm going to put some more up there. You can watch my live videos of, and Mikey has a live video too from earlier in the year. And and it's just ridiculous. This has been going on for too long.
Yeah, I should be live. You'll probably be live. So the next council meeting is December 9th and 11th. I think either 6 or 7 p.m. So I'll be live. I'm sure you'll be live. Mike will probably be live.
Oh, Paco, hi. I didn't get a chance to say hi. We didn't have any cross time here.
Paco's fancy.
You know, I'm just saying. You know, it seems. You know, there you are.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Are you taking a break from your day, or are you done?
No, I'm heading out to a ceremonial dinner tonight for my little sister's maid honor society.
Oh, good. It's not work. That's good. Good.
Yeah, she made
top
5 in the
country.
country.
Shit. I'm just focusing on. Look at you, man.
Yeah, she made top 5 in the nation.
Looking pretty dapper. You got a hat? Yeah. You got a hat that goes with that?
No. I got a fancy jacket though with nice fur and stuff, which is pretty cool.
You're looking good. You clean up real good. Holy crap!
Yeah, that's what I said.
Easy.
That's what I said. Yeah, man. So like, my little sister killed it, so I gotta go. I gotta go support the family. You know.
Yeah, sure you do.
Yeah, just medicating before I go, so I can.
They know what they're getting with you. You know. You medicate all you want. You're gonna have a great night, man. All right, and Steve, it's been fascinating. You know, really.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah, all right, man. I'm feeling really good about it. This is a vicarious kind of fun thing for me. I appreciate it. And Lefty, as always, you know.
Can I make you feel like shit for 2 minutes?
What's that?
Not even 1 minute. 1 minute and 20 seconds. Here we go. Cheryl Miller, Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy May, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Paulette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lulu, Becky, Lawanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, Marcus, Gary, and Jeff Oak.
Too much, too damn long, man. We gotta wrap this shit up one of these years, you know.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time, and God bless. We'll end it with the Ode of Remembrance. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Peace out. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Have a blessed one.